Ladies and gents, welcome back from spring break. I've missed you. I hope you're ready to get into math and a brand new topic. Let's go check out our visual learning video to see what we're learning about today.
You can use mental math to subtract 10 or 100 from three-digit numbers. Find 328 minus 10. Find 328 minus 100. How do place value blocks help you understand the number 328?
Well, by showing 3 hundreds, 2 tens, and 8 ones, we can see the different place values in 328. We can see how many hundreds, tens, and ones.
The place value blocks show the value of each digit in the number. Place value can help you subtract mentally. Find 328 minus 10. Subtracting 10 makes the tens digit go down by 1. What is the tens digit in the number 328? What is the tens digit in the number 10? The tens digit in 328 is 2. The tens digit in 10 is 1. You know that 2 minus 1 equals 1.
That means that 2 tens minus 1 10 equals 1 10.
So 328 minus 10 equals 318. Find 328 minus 100. Subtracting 100 makes the hundreds digit go down by 1. What is the hundreds digit in the number 328? What is the hundreds digit in the number 100? The hundreds digit in 328 is 3. The hundreds digit in 100 is 1. What basic fact do you know that can help you subtract 100 from 328? You know that 3 minus 1 equals 2, so 328 minus 100 equals 228. Sometimes subtracting 10 changes the tens and hundreds digits. Find 500 minus 10.
Let's try it. Move the pointer to see how to model 500 minus 10 with place value blocks. So the first step, we're going to model 500. So we're going to use 500s flats to model 500. Then in step 2, we're going to exchange 100 for 10 tens. So see how we have 1 less 100, but we also have 10 tens. So it's still 500. But that means that 500 equals 400 plus 10 tens. Finally, we have to subtract 110. So 400 plus 10 tens minus 110 equals 400 plus 9 tens, or 490.
You know that 500 equals 50 tens. 50 tens minus 110 equals 49 tens, or 490. So 500 minus 10 equals 490. When a 10 is subtracted from 500, what digit changes?
Well, when we subtracted the 10, the digits that changed were the hundreds and the tens, because 500 is the same as 50 tens, and if you take away 110, you only have 49 tens, which is 490, and that changed the hundreds from 5 to 400, and it changed the tens from a 0 to 9 in the tens place.
Both the hundreds and tens digits change. The hundreds digit changes from 5 to 4, and the tens digit changes from 0 to 9. Now you know how to subtract 10 and 100 from three-digit numbers.
Let's go hop on our workbook and do some practice. Okay, we're going to do the guided practice on page 638. So if you need to pause me to turn to that page and get your pencil, go ahead and pause me now, and then come back when you're ready. We're going to do these guided practice problems together. It says subtract using mental math. Remember, mental math means we're not using our fingers and we're not using a pencil and paper. We're doing it all in our noggins. It's making us better mathematicians when we can start to do it in our heads. So let's look at number 1. We have this number minus 10 and this number minus 100. So remember, kind of like what we did with addition a while ago, we have to figure out what this number is first and then do the subtraction problems. So I see 2 hundreds blocks, so I know 200. I see 110, so I'm going to put a 1 in the tens place. And I see 4 ones. So 4 and 4. And the reason I put both numbers in the same spots is because we know that both numbers are going to be 214 that we start with. It's the same starting number. So now we have 214 minus 10, and we're going to 214 minus 100. So let's see, 214 minus 10. Well, this one's not super tricky because it's already modeled for us, and we just need to take away 110. So if I go up here and I cross off my 10, well, I have 2 hundreds, 0 tens, and I still have 4 ones. So that means 214 minus 10 is 204. Only my tens place changed. Now let's do 214 minus 100. If I go ahead and I take away 100, but I have to make sure I don't take away this 10, I have 1 hundreds block, 110, and I still have those 4 ones. So that means that 214 minus 100 is 114. Only my hundreds place changed. Let's do number 2. Let's see how many hundreds blocks we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 hundreds. I'm going to put a 5 in the hundreds place for both starting numbers. I have 2 tens. So I'm going to put a 2 in the tens place for both numbers. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. So our starting number is going to be 525. And we're going to do 525 minus 10. And we're going to do 525 minus 100. So now if I look, I see 525 minus 10. Well, if I cross off one of my tens blocks, I still have my 500s blocks. I still have 110, and then I still have those 5 ones. So the only place value that changed was the tens, and it went down by 1 because I took away 110. Now for this problem, 525 minus 100, if I go and I just take away 1 of my hundreds blocks, cross him off, I still have 4 hundreds blocks, I still have 2 tens, and I still have my 5 ones. So that means that 525 minus 100 equals 425. Let's check out number 3 and 4. Down here, we're not using models. You could totally draw a model somewhere on the page if you wanted to, but we don't always have to if we don't want to. So let's try it. We have 738 minus 10. So remember, if we're taking away a 10, only the tens place is going to change in our number that we're starting with. So we're still going to have 700s, and we're still going to have 8 ones. But if we take away 110, well, we start with 3 tens, and we take away 110. 3 minus 1 is 2, so we would still have 2 tens. So 738 minus 10 equals 728. Let's try with 100. 738 minus 100. We're just taking away 100, which comes out of the hundreds place. So we aren't changing our tens. We're still going to have 3 tens, and we're not changing our ones, so we're still going to have 8 ones. But we need to take away 100. So we have 700s minus 1. Well, 7 minus 1 is 6. So that means we would have 600s left. So 738 minus 100 equals 638. Pretty easy. Now let's try number 4. We have 100 minus 10. Well, this one seems a little bit tricky if you look at it because we have a 0 in the tens place. But if you think about it this way, 100 is the same as 10 tens, right? So 10 minus 1 is 9. So 9 tens. And how much is 9 tens? 90. So 100 minus 10 is 90. And then down here we have 100 minus 100. Guess what? If I have 1 and I take away 1, I'm going to have nothing left, right? So if I have 100 and I take away 100, I'm going to have nothing left. So our answer is just going to be 0. Pretty easy. Even though we're working with big numbers and we're doing subtraction, it's pretty easy if we take our time and we look at those place values. Let's watch another quick video and then we'll do some more practice together.
Place value should have a place in your head because it helps you so much with mental math. Like here, 431 minus 10. If I subtract 10, the tens digit goes down by 1. I know that 3 minus 1 equals 2. That's super easy. So 431 minus 10 equals 421. But that's not all place value can do. I can also subtract 100 from 3-digit numbers in my head. Let's do this together. We'll use the same number we started with before, 431. If I subtract 100, this time the hundreds digit goes down by 1. I know that 4 minus 1 equals 3. That means 431 minus 100 equals 331. And that's all there is to it. It is true that sometimes you have to think a little harder when subtracting by 10. Sometimes it can change the tens digit and the hundreds digit, like 400 minus 10. I can't subtract 110 from 0 tens. But 400 is the same as 40 tens. And 40 tens minus 110 equals 39 tens. I counted back. And 39 tens is the same as 390. Do you see what I mean? So 400 minus 10 is 390. So, you know what I'm thinking? Place value should always have a place in your head.
Let's do some more practice. Let's go ahead and turn that page. We're going to start by doing number 5 together. So we're doing the same thing that we did on the last page. We're going to start by using the models first, and then we'll do some problems without the models. So number 5, we have to figure out what this number is first. So let's see, we have 1 200ths. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens. And we have 0 ones. So the number that we're starting with is 250. So we're going to do 250 minus 10. And we're going to do 250 minus 100. So let's start with our 10. If we have 250 minus 10, we have 5 tens. And if we take away 1, we have 4 tens left. So we still have our 200s, but then we only have 4 tens left, and we still don't have any ones. So 250 minus 10 is 240. And then if we do the hundreds problem, and we start with 250 and we take away 100, I'm just going to cross off one of my hundreds blocks, and I still have one hundreds block. I still have my 5 tens, and I still don't have any ones. So 250 minus 100 equals 150. Pretty easy. I want you to do number 6, pause me, do your work, find your answers, write it all out, and then come back to me when you think you found your answer. Okay, let's check. I have to write out my number first. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hundreds. I have 1, 2, 3 tens. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. So the number that I'm starting with is 634. I'm going to do 634 minus 10, and I'm going to do 634 minus 100. If I take away 1 10 from my 3 tens, I'm going to have 2 tens left. I'm still going to have my 600s, and I'm still going to have my 4 ones, but my tens went down by 1 because I took away 1 10. So 634 minus 10 is 624. If I do hundreds, I have 600s minus 100 would be 500s. So then I would still have my 3 tens, and I would still have my 4 ones, which means that 634 minus 100 equals 534. Pretty easy. Let's do number 8. These ones don't have the models for us, but that's totally fine. We can use place value and what we know about it to help us. We're going to do 719 minus 10. We're taking away 110, and in 719 we have 110. So 1 minus 1 would be 0 tens. So we'd still have our 700s, we would have 0 tens, and we would still have our 9 ones that we started with, which means that 719 minus 10 equals 709. I want you to do number 9, pause, solve it, come back when you're done. You ready? So I have 400s minus 100. Well, 4 minus 1 is 3. So my answer is just 300. Easy peasy. Look at that. Let's go down and do number 11 together. Number 11 says 520 minus 100. So I have 500s minus 100. So my hundreds place is going to go down by 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. So instead of having 500, I only have 400. I still have my 2 tens, and I still have 0 ones, which means that 520 minus 100 equals 420. I want you to do number 12. Pause me, solve it, come back when you're done, and we'll double check. Okay, 975 minus 10. So in 975, I have 7 tens, and I'm taking away one of them. So I'm still going to have 900s. I'm still going to have 5 ones because I'm not touching those. Only my tens place is going to change. So 7 minus 1 would be 6. So 7 tens minus 1 10 equals 6 tens. 975 minus 10 would equal 965. Let's do number 14. Now for these problems, we're actually going to be finding the missing numbers. So we need to figure out what number did they subtract to go from our starting number to the answer. So let's look at 14. It says 362 minus something equals 352. So we need to figure out what changed between our starting number and our answer. So let's see, our hundreds are still the same, 300 and 300. Our tens, we had 6 tens and now we only have 5 tens. So it looks like our tens are what changed. And then our ones, we have a 2 and a 2. So those didn't change at all. So let's think, if I had 6 tens and now I only have 5 tens, how many tens did I subtract? Just 1 10. So that means they did 362 minus 10 equals 352. I want you to try number 15, see if you can figure out what they subtracted, pause, solve it, and come back to me when you're ready, and we'll double check. Okay, we had 800s, and now we only have 700s. Our tens and our ones didn't change though, only our hundreds did. So we had 800 and we went down to 700. Well, I know 8 minus 1 equals 7, so it looks like they took away 100. So 801 minus 100 equals 701. Let's look at number 17. 657, and then we ended up with 647. Well, our hundreds are the same. Our tens changed though. We had 5 tens and now we only have 4 tens. And our ones stayed the same. So we had 5 tens and now we only have 4 tens. If I have 5 and then I take something away and I only have 4 left, how many tens did I take away? Well, 5 minus 1 would equal 4. So it looks like I took away 1 10. So 657 minus 10 equals 647. I want you to do number 18, pause, solve it, and come back to me when you're ready. Okay, let's look. I had 215, and now I only have 205. Well, I can see that my hundreds and my ones did not change, but my tens place did. I had 1 10, and now I don't have any tens in my number. So that means I went from 1 down to 0, which means I took away 1 10. So they did 215 minus 10 equals 205. Pretty easy. We're going to turn the page and do 2 more problems together. Let's look at number 20 together. It says Marnie is studying facts about bees. She finds that one type of bee can pollinate 955 plants each day. A different type of bee pollinates 100 fewer plants. Remember, folks, whenever you hear the word fewer, it means you are going to be doing a subtraction problem. And when we have 2 numbers, when we do subtraction, we always have to put the bigger number first and subtract our smaller number, okay? So we need to find out how many plants the other kind of bee pollinates. So we're going to set up our problem. We're going to say 955 that the one bee plant pollinates minus the 100 less is going to tell us how many that second bee pollinates each day. So if I had 900s and I took away 100, well, 9 minus 1 is 8, right? So that means I'm only going to have 800s left. I'm still going to have my 5 tens, and I'm still going to have my 5 ones. So that means the second type of bee pollinates only 855 plants a day. Let's read number 21, and then you're going to solve it all by yourself. There was a marathon in Dundee. 10 of the runners did not finish the marathon. How many runners finished the marathon? Model by writing an equation. Now, folks, I don't know about you, but did you notice that we were only given 1 number in our question? Do you notice anywhere on the page where we could find what number we started with? Got to use your eyes, do a little searching here. Did you notice that they gave us this fancy poster over here? It says the Dundee Marathon, 689 runners. So that means there were 689 runners altogether. So that's our starting number, 689. And then they were saying that 10 of them didn't finish. So we need to take away those 10 that didn't finish to find out how many runners did finish the entire marathon. Go ahead and solve our equation, pause me and do it and come back when you're ready and we'll double check your math. Okay, let's see. So we had 689 people all together, but 10 of them didn't finish. So we need to subtract those 10 to find out how many of the runners did finish. So I had 8 in my tens place, and I'm taking away one of those 10s. So 8 minus 1 would be 7. So I'm still going to have my 600s, but I'm only going to have 7 10s, and my 9 ones didn't change. So that means that 689 minus 10 equals 679, which means that only 679 of the runners actually finished the marathon. Great job. Let's look at your homework for today. Okay, so for today, I want you to go back into the workbook on those same pages and finish these problems. Number 7, number 10, number 13, 16, 19, and 23. I know that's a lot of problems, but they're really quick. We did a lot of them today and it didn't take us very long. So I want you to go do those for some more practice. Make sure you do your quick check. And then depending on what your teacher has assigned to you, you're going to do some Math Facts Pro and maybe some iReady. Do whatever they have told you to do on your schedule. And I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye, friends.